Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome back. Today we're uncovering the 7 small apartment mistakes that are secretly making your space feel smaller. And here's the truth. Most people aren't just losing visual space, they're wasting real square footage without even noticing. Stay with me until the end, because mistake number 7 is something even professional designers debate, but it dramatically changes how large or tight a room feels. If you fix just 2 of these small apartment mistakes, your tiny space can look visually bigger today. One of the biggest small apartment mistakes is lining every wall with heavy, continuous furniture. People assume pushing everything to the edges opens the middle, but in small space design, the opposite happens. When the entire perimeter becomes a solid block of furniture, the room actually feels compressed. Professional designers rely on something called negative space flow, not necessarily empty areas behind furniture, but visual gaps that allow the eye to pause and move naturally through the room. Even in tiny apartments, you can create this flow without sacrificing precious floor space. Here's what works. Choose pieces with lighter silhouettes, raised legs, or softer lines. Break up the perimeter with elements of different heights, like a tall plant next to a lower media console, so the eye doesn't get stuck tracing one heavy horizontal line around the room. These subtle design choices make a tiny apartment feel calm, open, and spacious, without needing a single extra inch of floor area. In a small apartment, color contrast controls volume. When everything is dark, saturated, or visually heavy, your tiny space feels even tighter. What works instead? Low contrast silhouettes, mid-tone woods, light fabrics, and pieces with raised legs. These let the eye travel under the furniture, instantly extending the visual floor area. No, you don't need an all-white apartment. That's another myth. You just need softer transitions between furniture and flooring. Small apartments often fall into the trap of mini organizers everywhere. Tiny bins, tiny trays, tiny baskets. Instead of creating order, they create visual clutter. Designers think in storage zones, not storage objects. One well-planned vertical storage unit replaces 10 small containers scattered around the apartment, and visually cleans the room in seconds. If everything feels crowded even after organizing, this is probably the reason. Curtains can transform a small space, or destroy it. Hanging them too low compresses your walls and makes the ceiling feel shorter. Professional rule. Hang curtains as high as possible and let the fabric fall all the way to the floor. This pulls the eye upward and gives your small apartment that much-needed height illusion. If you can't drill high, use tension rods inside the frame paired with sheer panels. Even lightweight fabric lifts the space. Most people spend all their energy planning the horizontal layout, where the furniture goes, how people move through the room, which pathways stay open. But in a tiny apartment, the vertical layout matters even more. It shapes how your eye travels through the space. And that means paying attention to how you stack decor, how you align wall art, and where you place shelves. Heavy or uneven elements sitting too high, especially above seating areas, instantly create visual tension. When your vertical lines are messy or unbalanced, the entire room feels smaller and more chaotic. Instead, think of your walls as quiet guides that gently lift the eye upward. When the vertical lines are calm and intentional, your small apartment suddenly feels taller, lighter, and far more inviting. Rugs define zones, but small rugs shrink zones. This is a classic tiny apartment mistake. The excuse rug that sits under just the coffee table, making the living area feel incomplete. In small spaces, a bigger rug actually makes the room feel larger because it expands the perceived footprint. Even an affordable low-pile rug in a neutral tone works wonders. If your space feels chopped up, start with the rug. Designers curate, most people accumulate. When every surface has small decor pieces, frames, candles, little vases, trinkets, your visual space fractures into dozens of micro moments. That makes the apartment feel smaller and busier. Try this professional trick. Remove everything, then add back only the items that create meaningful scale or height variation. This instantly gives your apartment a cleaner, more intentional look. If you made it this far, thank you for spending your time here at Calm and Cozy Homes. Let me know in the comments which mistake you realized you've been making, or which tip you're going to try first. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss new cozy small space inspiration. See you in the next one.